Welcome, Mitchell&Mitchell Sip and Spill here. It's
Sup, y'all?
your boy Ed, and my girl Kimmy Kim. We finna give you some little. We talking today about assumptions and why assumptions and assuming things from anybody, friends, or job, or any of that shit,
Right.
or thinking that things going to whatever is a terrible idea. Obviously, we
It
all know
is.
that, but we want to put our spiel on it as spiel as sip and spill go.
Right.
Kimmy Kim.
I feel like when we assuming stuff, we think and it really can put you in a messed up place when you find out what you was assuming was the wrong idea. It was complete. You were completely off. And that's why you just shouldn't assume. It's one of the I can't think of the book right now, but it's things you shouldn't do in assumptions number 3, because it really can set you up for nothing but failure. So I got some Kimmy gems. So when I was thinking about that, my mind was going on why you should assume, but just giving thoughts on it. One of them are accept people as they are, but place them where they belong. You are the CEO of your life, so you get to hire, fire, and promote accordingly. Okay, so when you assume a person don't do this and they don't do that, it's entirely up to you. Don't assume anything. You're the CEO of your life. So you make it all about what you feel that works and fit and navigate your own confidence, not from based on what someone else say or what someone else do. My next one is don't stop setting yourself up on fire for people who would just sit there and watch you burn. Because you assume that they're gonna put the fire out, right? You assume that, they see me burning, they don't, and then they just watching. Well, I didn't know if you really need me to go get the fire. They see you burning, but I didn't know if you really needed me to go get the fire. That's one of them things like, damn, do you really? So stop assuming. Stop putting people in places of thinking that what you do, they gonna do. Or stop putting people in places of assuming that they won't do it and they come and bring the whole damn hose and put everything out. So sometimes you absolutely miss certain people because they might not be that picture in the frame that you want it to look like, but that person got your back, your front and your peripheral. Then I say avoid people who mess with your head, people who say things to upset you, people who want you to make them a priority but won't do the same for you, people who don't apologize. You don't need these kind of people in your life. Avoid them. Because every negative thought is a down payment on your failure. Every positive thought is an investment in your future. So a lot of times things happen in our life. I feel like we do need to take and have more deposits of positivity instead of all the withdrawals of negativity, because that really changes. An assumption is one of those things can be easily embarked upon negative because you simply act off an assumption, not a fact. So that's my Kimmy gems. But just talking about the subject, a lot of times what you say, Ed, that you have made a mistake, you're guilty of this, you assume some things and then find out it really wasn't what you thought it was.
I've assumed things that were sometimes worse than I thought they were, and that goes back to this theory, the thing that I learned over 20-some years ago. An older gentleman was telling me that a lot of times just regular problems, you think are huge, can be overcome if you talk about it. They become a lot smaller as you talk about it. You assume that there's no way out of this. There's no good that can come of this. There's no whatever. I've had certain situations happen personally within my personal relationships where I thought that certain things wouldn't fly or wouldn't roll or wouldn't rock because of the fact that, okay, they wouldn't go for this or they wouldn't like this or they don't like this that I would do or whatever. And I made those assumptions and those things, and you do those things, you waste time too.
Yeah,
like
you
could
do.
have been doing shit.
Yes, you really do.
Getting stuff done, accomplishing goals and stuff because you assume because of this I can't go there or I can't do this, I can't say that, and those things will kind of make you feel like you can't accomplish certain things and get certain things done, and people won't rock with it because you make these assumptions. Right. Conversely, I've always assumed that things are cool.
Would you say you missed the opportunities of a lot of takes that you could have taken simply because you assumed something?
Yeah, I missed a lot of opportunities that I could have taken because I assumed that it was going to be there tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's stuff like that. You be deals on the table. Oh man, that deal going to be there tomorrow. or
Yeah.
that situation gonna be there. It's gonna be all good, After a while, a lot of times it
Yeah.
just ain't. And just relationships, then just assuming that people have bad intentions towards you. What I don't like though, I don't like that. I don't like to live on the level of people out to get you.
Mm.
I want to be conscious of stuff like that. I don't want to just kind of be a regular sitting duck, so to speak, where you just kind of like, just walking around with your wallet hanging out type of guy. And you
Hmm.
so just don't understand what's going on. You oblivious to stuff going on. So I want to be cognizant of things going on around me, but at the same time, I don't want to be always like, oh, look at them. They mean no good. They're trying to grab my, what I'm saying? Trying to, I don't like this. Those assumptions can kind of keep you in the negative space. And that's what I would
Yeah.
call lower frequency. I don't want to say a lower frequency person, but it does. People, the
It's a
sky's
low
falling.
frequency.
The sky's falling. People always assuming shit is terrible. They look at the glass half empty on a regular basis.
Wow.
Again, I'm not saying be oblivious and act like everything is good.
That's
Life
true. Your mind is a powerful thing.
I'm just saying, but you have to make sure. Don't assume that things are always terrible either. Keep yourself at a understanding of saying that, okay, this may not be as great as I thought, but it's definitely not as bad as I was thinking it was going to be. And you just kind of put yourself in that. That to me is things that I don't want to do. I want to stay and veer away from that thought, those types of thoughts, and those types of people who consistently think or assume the worst out of people.
Right. I agree. I do. I think that you want to watch how you set things up and how you, look at things, because those things can make you be in a negative space. That's why I say assumption is mostly pretty much always connected to negativity.
Yeah.
Simply because you don't know the outcome. You're just assuming what it's going to be.
It is on both sides too. You're right. It's always, when you say that, I thought it made me think about like, yeah, you assume stuff it can be because you assume things are good and it ain't.
Yeah.
You assume things are bad. It can be.
All you have to do is just go. That's why I said if your first thought is to, let me just ask. I don't want to assume that I think that's what you're thinking. But I'm going to be honest. I have to say this. I don't like that when I don't assume and then I ask and then he's like, well, you should have known. No. How? Because, that person don't always, you don't know unless you do inventory checks, people.
Unless you ask.
You got to check in. Things change on a daily, man, for real. Everything's changed on a daily. And you don't ever know what no one is going through, how they feeling. People ask you, good morning, how you feeling? And you be like, good morning. And that part, sometimes don't get answered, how you feeling? And then you like to look back, well, how you feeling?
But how you feeling though? You didn't answer.
And then they get stuck and they don't know really what to say because they don't really want to come out and say nothing bad. But
right.
I've learned that if you're gonna ask me, I'm gonna make a decision. If I'm gonna give you an answer, I'm just gonna say, well, that I can't even answer right now. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that's not assuming. That's not assuming at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Period. That's being 100% authentic as well. As we like to say, we like to be 100% authentic about ourselves. Mm-hmm. But assumption would definitely put you in such a negative space that you can't even begin what is there for you because you are already sitting in the back saying it's not for you. Right. I will also say, looking at things, what I've experienced in my own life is that having that, asking the question. Sometimes people say, you just want to know this, that, and the other. Like all that. But you know what? It eliminates a lot of things. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste time with you. I don't want to waste wasting my time with you. And I don't want your time to be wasted. You know what I'm saying? Either we're going to mesh or we don't mesh, or it's going to work or it's not going to work. But at least I know by asking you up front, then, and more people do that more in detail in getting to know someone. Man, you'll save yourself a lot of time. Because, you're going to come out anyway. You're going to see the person. You're going to see how their behaviors is anyway.
Right.
But some things you'll find out you can really get the truth from a person right up front.
You know what I'm saying? Especially people more nowadays. I mean, things are out in the open now. There's more public information.
Yeah, like I ain't going to mess with that. Yeah.
People are just posting and doing, you kind of got an idea what's going on. Even us doing our show. Our show is open book. So we talk about stuff, So it's I'm a proponent. I'm learning to not be a person who
work in progress.
Yeah, not to assume I definitely not assume the worst, but I'm not going to assume. Well, I guess both sides. I don't walk around negative, but I don't necessarily assume greatness. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's the same thing, but I'm learning not to be assumption and get some clarity. Get some clarity, get answers, get questions answered, damn near immediately on the onset or in the beginning, um, throughout, at the end, get some clarity or whatever, and not assume anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I believe that makes for a better, more rewarding life. There's another thing that I say, and I live by this, or I state this, make this statement, and every day become more manifesting in my life, where I rather know than not know. That's the side I err on the side on that side, or err on the side of caution regarding. I rather know than not know. Like, let me know what's going on. I don't want to assume that everything is cool or great or everything is going to go on or whatever like that. Um, it's almost like you have a trip and we planned a trip 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and it's scheduled for next week. And I don't want to assume everybody's still going. I'm gonna call and check. Now that might be annoying to do after confirmation after confirmation, but I don't want to assume everything's all good. That anything changed. Oh man, we changed it last month, man. We ain't going. We thought we sent your emails in your spam or in your, what I'm saying. So learning to be different and getting more information and getting more clarity and asking those hard questions, even if you don't feel like being bothered with it, even if you don't want to deal with whatever comes with it. And a lot of times we do assumptions because a lot of times when we find out the truth, we have to now deal with it. And when you know stuff, you have to own that you know it. You can't no longer act like you don't know it when you do. So I'm assuming everything's cool because if I knew for sure, then I might not like the answer.
That's true. That's true. And then I think also not just assuming on a one encounter or one incident. You don't want to assume even after you have had an inventory check or a conversation with the person. It's a continually consistent thing that you just want to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Some people get annoyed by assurances. Like, I don't want to just, I don't want to just keep telling you, and I think it should be I would say more like a understanding of an insurance. The only reason why I'm asking you simply is because I don't know. Know that if I'm asking you, it's because I don't know, and I'm trying my best not to assume. Because I can go off what you did last week, and you don't even mean that this week. You looked at something, you revisit something. Say, I ain't finna be that way. Not no more. Something as simple as, I can share this because this is what we do. I'm doing testimony. I don't really know no other way to be, y'all. So anyway, with that said, I like to talk about what I know. Something simple as someone saying that when I talk, you overtalk me or you interrupt me. So you want to do an inventory and make sure we're having a conversation. Am I doing better? Is that working? Because I know I'm putting forth that effort and I need it to be acknowledged. Otherwise, I'm going to keep doing the same behavior. That's why I say when someone say they sorry, they really don't mean it if you keep doing the same thing. If you keep doing the same thing, you really don't mean, like, you sorry that it hurt me. I get that. You sorry that it changed the dynamic of the way you might feel about me, but you're not sorry if you still keep doing it.
Or sorry the fact you had to deal with them being mad about it, salty about, like, damn, I'm sorry, I didn't want to hear that shit.
Right. And it's like, and nobody would never say that. Like, you really want to say, okay, well, I'm sorry if it messed you up, but shit, I'm gonna do it again.
I'm gonna do it again. I'm sorry I had to hear it. That's what
yeah,
I'm sorry about.
Damn, I'm sorry you found out about it. Damn. But I am gonna keep doing. I mean, because you find out about it, it affects you. I mean, I'm good, but it affects you. It's weird, but all we want y'all to know more than anything is that you want to take the time to really check in with people that matter to you, that is important to you, and you don't want to be assuming things with your children, your spouses, your man, your female. You just don't want to do that.
And then another thing, good when you say that, assuming that everything is okay with people, that they're okay. Because you don't hear from them, don't assume that they're okay. A lot of times, silence is acquiescence, and it almost lends itself to something that's going on. Something is, what I mean? Like they say, you basically don't assume, if you haven't heard from somebody, don't assume they don't like you or they're upset with you.
Right.
You reach out to them. I did an assumption.
Mm-hmm.
And it's happened to me recently with my family member, close family member. And I was on the verge of, I was kind of hurt and salty. I talked to Kim about it, talked to my wife about it. And I was just kind of like, what was going on? And we was kind of like, And Kim was like, well, let's not assume, maybe it's not what you think it is. Don't come at them like this is the issue.
Right.
Like, just kind of, and before I could say anything, they called me. And the
Hmm.
first thing they say, "Hey, bro, man, I love you and I miss you, man." And I guess I put it out there when I said that, right. I love and I miss you. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I said, like, "Hey, you okay? I thought you thought you were mad at me." Say, "No, man." And so we talked in person, and we were sitting down and talking about it. He said, "Why do you keep doing that? You know, why do you keep saying like if you don't hear from me, you think I'm mad at you? I'm not mad at you, man. It's like I go into my spaces and it has nothing to do with you. I'm not mad at you. And if I was mad at you, I would talk to you about it. But I'm not mad at you. I hate when you do that." And it was like, wow, you know. And if I went on with the assumption, that assumption had my mind going that
You
maybe it's
start
something I
changing
said.
your behavior with the person. You start acting all out, and it's something as simple as also. I mean, Ed sharing this story. It's also as simple that I feel like I'm assumed upon. She don't like that, or she ain't with that, simply because something that may have happened in another incident, you assume it to be this incident. No, you need to check in. I think that was I think that was beautiful to be shared that and told that, because you judged it off a pattern that you may have thought that that person may have been with someone else.
Mhm,
Don't have nothing to do with you.
mhm. I just off a pattern. And here's another thing too. I didn't really get that other pattern, even with him. Like you're right, pattern with somebody else, but that same person had done something similar. And at that point, I thought it was kind of booty, and we didn't really resolve it. So I'm like, oh, here you go again. So assumption in a crazy way can kind of have like it can have like its own rabbit hole where the assumption can kind of pile on. Like if you don't like if Kim does something that I don't like, and I never say it that I don't like it, right?
Right.
And I really don't like it. And she did something that I or kind of maybe look like it's something I didn't like, and now she do something that seemed like she's doing something I don't like again. Now I'm like, oh, she doing that stuff again. Now she don't even know that these appearances of things that I don't like. If she ain't really doing what I think she's doing, I'm assuming she's doing some bullshit again. She did the bullshit before. I never addressed it, but she did some bullshit before that I think she did. Now she's doing it again. Now I've built up this whole pattern that she says of things that she supposedly do to me that she don't know she did to me, which it really wasn't nothing that she did. And I assume, and now I got this view of her like, oh, you just this shit on me person. You're constantly not regarding me. You like, I've never, when I was doing this was not, it was matter of fact, it was for your birthday. I was doing stuff and trying to surprise you. Or when I was doing this, that, and the other, it was like, we was doing something for mama and blah, blah, blah. And I thought you were there already. I thought the so and so told you, blah, blah, blah. And you got this whole line of assumptions for me. You never addressed it. We never clarified it so I can make sure you knew, like, oh, yeah, when I'm over here, this is what I'm doing. So you don't ever have to think this is me crapping on you. And assumption can really go a long way because now you
Mhm.
assuming this person has a whole. I've done that.
You just made your case
You made it.
and reached a verdict.
Yeah, you done had a whole life of assumption with a person that these people are. Have you ever done it with people that you was like that in school, that you liked in high school, college? You may have liked them or didn't like them. You thought that they were these shitty people, or you thought they were wagging. You'd be like, damn, 20 years. I thought I never got my chance. I never gave myself a chance to even talk to you. I remember as a friend, a person that we went to school with, and the person who's really close to me started doing started servicing them on services and stuff and doing things for them and stuff like that. And it was this person that was in school was related to a really good friend of mine. And the really good friend of mine was very outgoing. But this person that wasn't as outgoing, we thought that they probably were lame or goofy or didn't was kind of maybe not that smart.
Mhm.
And it was just the opposite. Like they are super cool, way cooler than we thought, super cool and ridiculously smart. And 20 some, almost 30 years later, we realized like, damn, they cool as hell. We could have been friends with them.
Mhm.
And you make this assumption of 25-year assumption,
Right.
damn near 30 assumption of somebody, and you never really found out for yourself. Like you said,
Right.
get those checks. And then what you do is you just kind of you assume a thing, you don't even make it a thing to even communicate with them.
Mm.
They are assumed character in your life.
Yep, you just play the story out. You start it, you finish it, and end it all in your head with nothing from no content or context from that other person at all.
Crazy.
You just assume that because she gonna act like this and she gonna act like this. I know people do stuff though, and you look at them and from the way they used to be or the way they may have behaved in another situation,
Mhm.
but you still gotta have an open mind
Yeah,
because
yeah.
people change daily, guys, daily,
Daily.
daily, and that's not. I want to make sure that that's not taken or looked at as they're moody or they have this and that. That's not. This is something where life just hits you and you don't know what that person has been through, and they change and they just look at things different. So the lenses change a lot. They really do. So that's why I'm not going to assume nothing. I'm asking questions all day, every day.
Right.
Whether they uncomfortable, awkward, all that. I'm coming at you with it. Because I want to be sure. I'm the type of person I want to be sure.
Well, listen, guys, don't assume. Go straight to the point. Be like Kimmy Kim, a little more like her. Some look like me, I guess. We're all growing. I'm evolving. I'm trying to get better, get to that point where she's going right for the jugular, as she would say, going right for the gusto, aiming right at it, shooting from the hip. What's going on? Do these inventory checks. Are you this? Are you that? I thought this. I thought that. Sometimes you may be awkward. Sometimes it may be weird. Sometimes you may come off as a little, maybe, I don't know, pushy. I don't know. But ask.
It don't have to be.
It don't have to be. Right. You don't have
You
to
could
be.
do everything with love.
Do it with love. Family and friends, work,
Yeah.
Find out what's going on. Don't assume, because it'll make an ass out of you and me.
And being sure, it's not just the boldness to ask, but I feel like it's brave. I really do. I feel like it's brave. Like you said, you'd rather know than not know.
Right.
Well, it takes bravery to know.
Right.
Because, when you really want to say, I wish I could read your mind, but then again, I don't know if I can handle the truth.
Facts. That's your truth. True from you anyway.
Exactly.
So listen, guys, like, subscribe, and share Mitchell and Mitchell Sip and Spill. We're on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Anchor, and Clubhouse now. We don't know how we're going to use Clubhouse, but we're going to try. We're going to try it eventually. But we got a lot of content out there. Check us out. We go live every Saturday at 7 p.m. We were doing weekly at Wednesdays. We might even do some midweek lives. We have done some random lives. So if you do notifications on our platforms, it'll notify you like we're going live in 30 minutes, or we're going live tonight or tomorrow. It'll let you know. But every Saturday at 7 p.m., Mitchell and Mitchell are going live somewhere. We normally go to different locations, and we might, you'll see us at different pop-up places or whatever. But listen, like, subscribe, and share. We like you. We love you. We want more of you. Keep commenting. Keep encouraging us. That goes a long way. When you say things that encourage you, speak life to us, we appreciate that. And I don't know if we say it enough, but we appreciate the people that actually watch us, that rock with us, people that subscribe to us. We appreciate you. And then the ones that may not necessarily subscribe, but they watch us. I hear a lot of different things. People seeing a show, and I don't know yet. We haven't gotten to the point of calibrating and tabulating who are watching
it, though.
But we appreciate you. And as usual, on this show with my partner on the daily, Mitchell and Mitchell Sip and Spill, it's been real and it's been fun. And every time we get a chance to do this show, speak our minds, speak our hearts, our truths, and show love and laughter and life and light. It's always real fun. Thank you, guys. Like, subscribe, and share, and get those notifications, guys. Talk to you real soon.